Hey guys, what is going on? My name is Kyle and you are watching Sweet Potatoes. Again today, unfortunately, Lace isn't here to be doing the video with me, so you guys just have me for another video. It's probably going to be like this for a while, and we did mention this in a previous video, but you know, when your wife is pregnant, things may end up changing just a little bit. Today, I thought I'd just go over the latter portion of the card reveals for Reign of Jafar. I'm filming this on May 17th. We're about 2 weeks away from Reign of Jafar. So we figured let's go ahead and go over some more of the cards that were revealed earlier this week, and I think all of the regular cards were revealed, and I think even all of the enchanted cards were revealed. So yeah, so let's go ahead, we'll go over some cards. I'm probably gonna do this video a little bit differently. I'm not gonna say every little detail about the card. If you want to read more details on the card, you know, the amount of ink, the strength, the description, anything like that, feel free to go ahead and pause the video at any time. I may end up reading some of the cards, but just to make the video a little bit quicker, we won't go over every little detail on every card unless I feel like it's worth talking about. So we are pretty much ready to go. I'm equipped with my coffee here, got water, again using the tablet to look at the cards here, and all of these cards can be found on the app. So if you download the Lorcana app, you're at this point in time, you're going to be able to see a lot of the cards that were, or all of the cards that were revealed for Reign of Jafar, and even most of the enchanteds at this point in time. So starting out, we have Goofy, groundbreaking chef. This honestly seems to be a pretty cool card. I love the art. Goofy, he's got, you know, a whole plate of pancakes, looks delicious. This is a legendary. And honestly, with the ability it has, plenty to go around, I think that could be a pretty decent card. I mean, when you're flooding the board with amber, and you have the ability, if you know some of your cards survive, you can remove at least 1 damage from each of them and ready them. So I think that could be pretty cool. I actually decided to start building the puppy deck. So I actually ordered a bunch of cards for that, and I'm pretty excited that those are coming in. And I feel like the key to building that puppy deck is not just to revolve around pure puppies. Like, I might be wrong here, but I'm even adding like a few copies of Rapunzel, gifted with healing, and I feel like maybe, who knows, a copy of this in that puppy deck could be good. I don't know. We'll see. I think that could be pretty cool. And next we have Antonio Madrigal, friend to all. Now, so if you guys saw the first video of the first set of announcements, I talked about the Antonio's Jaguar card, where we only have one copy, but literally one Antonio card that we can work with. Well, it looks like we actually have a second one. Now, in terms of its ability, Antonio looks like he's going to be able to support that Amber Amethyst song style deck that actually a lot of the Madrigals are. So this looks to be more support for that. So pretty cool. Really, really nice art, actually. Definitely one that we're going to be adding to the personal collection here. Ludwig von Drake, all around expert. Now, this card I think is going to make probably big waves. It's Amber Sapphire. It seems to be pretty good. This is actually one where, when you look at the abilities, he has 2 of them. Superior Mind. When you play this character, chosen opponent reveals their hand and discards a non-character card of your choice. So already taking control of the game on turn 2. And then his other ability, Lasting Legacy. When this character is banished, you may put this card into your inkwell face down and exerted. So for 2 ink, yeah, he is a 1/1. but you know, you play him, you get to discard whatever you want from their opponent, from your opponent's hand. And the crazy part is if he gets banished, he goes straight to your Inkwell. So a little bit of a built-in ramp. Like, that is a very strong card, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him played in quite a few decks. And we have Charlotte LaBeouf. Nothing too crazy, but I just thought I like that they included her from Princess and the Frog. Lace loves this character, she's funny. You know, thought I'd just mention this card here because I actually do think they did a really good job on the art here. Really awesome to include her. I don't know if she was included in any other set so far. We have Jim Deere, Beloved Husband, Bodyguard 04. We've seen this in another Prince card. I think it was like Prince Eric or Prince Philip, I can't remember. But 2 cost 04. I'm like personally thinking maybe this could be included in the puppy deck, because you know, when I was kind of looking into building that deck, it doesn't look like it has too much in the way of bodyguard, not too much. So maybe this could be included. Who knows? Seems like a pretty okay card. Here we go. So the Colonel Old Sheepdog. With the ability, we've got them outnumbered. While you have 3 or more puppy characters in play, this character gets 2 strength and 2 lore. Clearly, puppy support right here. I am definitely going to be adding this to the deck once it comes out. I just think it's a strong card now. He's a Storyborn ally, so he doesn't fit the puppy archetype or puppy characteristics. But of course, with the ability, it just seems like overall a really good card for the puppy deck, or to at least include in the puppy deck. Maybe 1 or 2 copies of. Coffee break. We have Wreck-It Ralph Big Lug. So we have a Shift Wreck-It Ralph. So not too bad of a card. I mean, it's racer support, and I was originally building the racer deck. Putting that off to the side for now, but this card could be pretty decent. The racer deck I was trying to build was racers and with like a couple princesses. I don't know if this card would have ever fit within that. I think there's one more Wreck-It Ralph that they announced within the set here. So yeah, so could be pretty decent. I really like the art for this card here. It's I don't know how to describe the art, but it's different than a lot of what I've seen from Lorcana so far. So pretty cool. Rhino Power Hamster, Shift 2 with this one actually does seem like a pretty strong card with the ability. When this character has no damage, he gains resist +2. That's pretty strong if you can get him out on turn 2, you know, with the Shift 2 there. I would imagine with, you know, Amber Steel, you add resist. This card is definitely going to be kind of a nuisance to try and get rid of, especially if you heal him back up, then he's back at resist +2. He's gonna be rough to deal with, I think. So, pretty cool card. Nice art as well. Clawhauser Front Desk Officer, Bodyguard with Singer 4. Zootopia, I think this is a pretty cool card. Like the art. Pretty simple with Bodyguard and Singer 4, but it's almost like with Reign of Jafar, they're, you know, Ravensburger, it doesn't seem like they're afraid to start. They're really kind of ramping up the power on a lot of these cards. Where now even on single color cards, you're seeing quite a bit of more power. For example, again, this card here with Bodyguard and Singer both. So pretty cool to see that they're doing that there. Interesting to see where that'll make the game go. All right, Joey Blue Pigeon. So a 3/3/3 with Bodyguard support. Seems pretty decent. I don't know where these pigeon cards are coming from, and you'll have to forgive me for this one. I don't know if they're from a movie, so please tell me in the comments below where these pigeons are from. I haven't looked it up, and I'm not too lazy to do so, but haven't really felt like looking it up. So if anyone knows, let me know where these pigeons are from. Off the top of my head, I just can't think of it. So it means no worries. We have an action, or a song, sing together, return up to 3 characters from your discard to your hand, and then you pay 2 less ink for the next character you play this turn. I think the fact that it's a sing together is pretty decent. Honestly, this is like another card that I would think about including within the puppy deck. Just because, I mean, you pay 2 less for the next character you play this turn, you can get a free card out there for, you know, because I'm gonna be running 10 tail waggers, at least 10 copies. I think that's, I know there's a deck on, is it Inkborn or whatever that deck builder app is, where the person built 15 puppies. I'm trying to go for 10 and including some other tools in there, and this could be one of those tools that I include within that deck. So, seems pretty cool. Really cool art, Lion King, can't complain there. Lena Saberwing, pure energy, evasive, and you exert her to deal 1 damage to a chosen character. Nothing too crazy on this card here. Honestly, I just like the art a lot. I think it's a really cool retro, I don't know if it can be described as retro style art, but the art really stood out to me. A little bit more cartoony, but I think it's pretty cool. So Bruno Madrigal, single-minded. So definitely an interesting card, you know, makes sense within the Amethyst archetype, where you have a little bit more lockdown built within a character if you play them. Nothing else too crazy, but the fact that it's an encounter card, really cool. I like Bruno. This is something I would include just in a personal collection kind of card. Seems pretty decent to play as well, but I don't really play Amethyst that much, so I don't know. Couldn't tell you, just like the card. Royal Guard Octopus Soldier. Whenever you draw a card, this character gains Challenger +1 this turn. I'm sure there's quite a bit of goofy stuff you can do with this card, especially with like an Amethyst Sapphire deck with a lot of draw power or draw engine. You can get kind of silly with this card here, you know, with a Challenger +1. So nothing too crazy of a card, but I do feel like this one has an odd bit of potential to it. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Cusco, board royal, not board and royal, board royal. 4 cost 1/3. So it's basically a Cusco with a bit of bounce to it, where you can return a chosen character, item, or location with a cost of 2 or less to their player's hand. So it could be either yours or your opponent's. I'm sure there can be interesting ways to use this card. I honestly, I really like the art here. I really like it. I mean, I do like, wow, what is the name of that movie? I like this movie and I can't think of the name of the movie. Emperor's New Groove. I don't know why I couldn't think of that name off the top of my head. I love Emperor's New Groove, even though I couldn't think of the name. Pretty cool card there. Love Cusco. Jiminy Cricket, level-headed and wise. It's not a piece of the same art from that Pinocchio card, but it definitely looks like they're from the same story within the world, within the lore. So I think that's pretty cool. It's interesting that it's kind of a rush counter. So I don't know how prevalent that is. I couldn't say. Maybe rush is if rush is a big problem within, you know, the tournament scene, maybe they would include a few copies of this card here just as a counter, but who knows. Pretty cool though. Monstro, Infamous Whale, 8/6/8 with rush, and the ability, if you choose and discard a card, you can ready this character. First off, just the art, I love that. I just think he if I saw that in the water, I would need to change my pair of pants. But basically, I just think it's really cool. Monstro is looking really mean. Seems like could be a pretty decent card. I mean, it's a late game. You're playing this with 8 ink, so Nothing too crazy, but a pretty cool card in all honesty. Cusco, Impulsive Llama. He's got Shift 4. Seems like a pretty decent ability, especially for Shift 4. I don't know, maybe it's like if your opponent has like one really strong body on the board, you play this card and that's the character they're gonna have to put on the bottom of their deck. So could be pretty decent removal, but at the cost of letting them draw a card. I also really like the art. Like there's a lot of levers and lever cards in Reign of Jafar, and I'm all for it. You know, the fact that Cusco is pulling a lever. Who's he? Oh, that's Kronk. So Cusco is pulling a lever. I didn't know that was Kronk. He's making Kronk fall, so I think that's pretty cool. Yzma on Edge. So this one works specifically with the pull the lever card, wrong lever. So it works with those two cards. I don't know what those two cards do off the top of my head anymore, but I don't know. Maybe you can have some pretty cool shenanigans with that. It'd definitely be a fun deck to play around with. Blue Light Guiding, Blue Fairy Guiding Light, Blue Light Guiding Fairy. Blue Fairy Guiding Light, evasive and support. 2/2/2, seems pretty simple, really nice art. Again, they're adding a lot of these dual passive abilities on these cards, so you can definitely tell like power's just creeping up just a little bit there compared to, you know, when you look at like first chapter cards, for example. We have Anna Magical Mission, a Shift 4 support. Works around Elsa. Basically gives you a little bit of draw support when you have Elsa. Basically whenever this quests, because of Elsa, you get to draw. So pretty cool card, really nice art. Eventually here, you're just gonna be able to build a pure Anna Elsa deck, in all honesty, with Amethyst Sapphire, especially when you look at some of the cards from Arcasia's Island and some of the Anna and Elsa cards from previous. So I'd like to see someone build a deck like that and make it work for like a tournament. The Sultan Royal Apparition, so it's an illusion card with Vanish 5/5/5. Really works well with illusions. If any of your illusion character quests, whenever one of your illusion characters quest, you can exert chosen opposing character. So if you have a lot of illusions on the board, you can definitely be using this card to your advantage with exerting multiple characters, challenging whatever character you want because you exert them. So that could be pretty cool to see. They Never Come Back. We have an action, up to 2 chosen characters can't ready at the start of their turn and you draw a card. So for 3 ink, you can do 2 actions. You can choose 2 characters and they can't ready at the start of their next turn, and you also get to draw a card. So I like the art, and I wouldn't be surprised to see this card in quite a few decks coming up. It honestly seems like a pretty strong tool. Fantastical and Magical. A sing together song, and then for each character that sang this song, draw a card and gain 1 lore. This is a really strong card. Because if you have multiple characters out, it works with that Amber Amethyst Madrigal song type of deck. You have multiple characters singing, you're drawing that many cards and gaining that much lore. That's super strong. It is uninkable, but I think you could run like 2 or 3 copies of this in the deck and I think be fine. I don't know. Seems pretty cool. It's in Kanto, so I love it. That's a really nice art, and overall I think it's a really cool card. So A+ in my book. Into the Unknown, this is actually one that we talked about within the first video, but now we actually have a clearer picture of it, and with the art, looks fantastic. Everybody's Got a Weakness. It is a 4-cost inkable action where you move one damage counter from each damaged character you have in play to chosen opposing character. You get to draw a card for each damage counter moved this way. This is like, to me, this is like the opposite or the antithesis to Rapunzel gifted with healing. In theme, it works super well. I remember, you know, within the first video that we were talking about these Reign of Jafar releases, when you look at Amethyst Ruby, that you have this kind of villainous archetype where you are damaging your own characters to get things done. This fits perfectly. This fits perfectly within that deck. It just seems like a strong card. Again, it reminds me of a Rapunzel gifted with healing, but in an action form. And to me, this is a really strong card. We have Basil, Undercover Detective. The abilities seem pretty good. It's a lot of what Emerald does, messing with your opponent. So it could be pretty cool. Like the art, Basil dressed as a pirate for some reason. Kind of cool. Fred, Major Science Enthusiast. So we have some item counter or item removal built into this card here. Pretty decent stats, 2-3 with a, you know, quest for 2. So pretty cool. Big Hero 6, really cool art. Lewis, Endearing Alligator. So this card's actually kind of interesting. This character enters play exerted, and when you play this character, chosen opposing character gains Reckless. If there is a card that you are having a tough time dealing with, you play this card, and at 4 strength, this card can take care of quite a few cards. So I actually think this one is going to be pretty good moving forward. Fred, Giant Sized, shift 5, and basically it's a bit of Floodborne support. Really nice art. Really cool card. Queen of Hearts, Haughty Monarch. So while there are 5 or more characters with damage in play, this character gains 3 lore to quest with. So she can have 6 lore if you have 5 characters. 5 or more characters with damage in play. Okay, so this character doesn't just work with damage on your characters, it works with damage on your opponent's characters as well. So this would work really well with that Alice card that we actually talked about within the first video. So pretty cool. And yeah, it was this Alice card here, the one that puts 1 damage counter on each other character. And I do think that includes yours. Yeah, that would include yours as well. But that works well with the Queen of Hearts card. Go-Go Tamago, Cutting Edge. I like this art a lot. This is just really cool. Who did this? Benno Melli? Benno Melli. I just think fantastic art. I would just collect this card just to have it, just because I like it so much. Shift 4 with Evasive, so you can play it on the Go-Go Tamago. Well, it's a 4 cost, but you can also shift it onto the one from Azurite Sea if you wanted to. Okay, so she can act as removal, which is pretty cool. So if you wanted to, she's got built-in removal, so you can use it on your opponent to put it into their inkwell. Or if you needed a bit more ramp, you can, you know, take a character of yours that you don't really need and place it into your own inkwell. So really cool stuff. Stopped Chaos in its tracks. So we got another Sing Together song. We've been seeing a lot of Sing Together. Return up to 2 chosen characters with 3 strength or less, each to their player's hands. Okay, so a little bit of bounce we have from Emerald. Really cool. And then we have the Wrong Lever card. So I mentioned it within the first video, and the video I was talking to Lace about the pull the lever, wrong levers. I think I talked about this within the first video. I was expecting to do this video with Lace, so I think that's why I pulled it in. But yeah, I'm pretty sure we already talked about this. And same as the Alice. Did we talk about the Lumiere? No, I don't think so. So we got Lumiere, Nimble, Candelabra. So if this works with item, the Ruby Sapphire item deck, you can play this. You have an evasive card for 2 cost. So pretty okay. Nothing too crazy there. Cricky, part of the team. While you have 2 or more other exerted characters in play, this character gets 2 lore. So pretty cool. You can have a 4 cost that has 3 lore if you have multiple bodies on the board that are exerted. So I really like the art there a lot, actually. I think that's really cool. Figaro Tuxedo Cat. So a little bit of countering items. Now you're not getting rid of items, but you're definitely your opponent is not able to use them right away if they're trying to. So pretty decent 3/3/3. Really cute art. All right, here we have the Wreck-It Ralph backseat driver. So this is the one that you can shift onto with that other, was it the 7 cost Wreck-It Ralph? Pretty decent. You play a character and one of your racers gets force strength. So can be pretty good. Don't see why you wouldn't use it within the racer deck archetype there. Tinkerbell Insistent Fairy. This one was actually pretty interesting. So it is a 2 cost 1/1 evasive. The ability is where it really gets pretty cool. So whenever you play a character with 5 or more strength, you may exert them to gain 2 lore. Fill your deck with a lot of beefy bodies, and you're gaining lore for free. You know, you get to exert them if you want. So really cool card, in all honesty. Instead of playing a character and sometimes them doing nothing, especially high strength characters, they're gaining you lore right away. So I think with this card, I think that's really cool. And I like the art too. I would be curious whose hair she's pulling on. So I don't know. I don't know. Lilo, Causing an Uproar. You play 3 actions, you play this character for free, and whenever you play this character, you get to ready another chosen character. I think that's pretty good. I can't think of off the top of my head what situations I would use it in, but I like it. Is it giant? Is this a giant Lilo? I'm assuming, because she's stomping on Jafar's castle. So I think that's pretty cool. Prince John, Fraidy Cat. This, it's an interesting card. So it's an uninkable 3 cost with 5/5, so that's pretty good. At turn 3, you can already put a 5/5 body down. You include this within a Ruby Amethyst deck, and you're already getting free damage onto a character that you can shift somewhere else. I think that's really good. So this card would definitely have to be included in the self-damage type of deck there. Light the Fuse. So it's an action, deal 1 damage to chosen character for each exerted character you have in play. I think that could be pretty good. So you're dealing 1 damage pings every time for every exerted character you have in play. The one problem I feel like I'm seeing with this card is the fact that if you're trying to use this character on, if you're trying to use this action on a character with resist +1 or resist +2, this card is basically doing nothing, I think. Based off the way it's written, I think that's how it works. So I don't think it deals, like if you have 2 exerted characters, I think you're still dealing 1 damage pings. So, Sir Pellinor Season Knight. Is this from? I don't remember where this is from. But this card actually does seem quite good. So whenever this character quests, your other characters gain support. That seems pretty strong to me, in all honesty. I mean, it's only a 1/4, but you give all your other characters support, and that can actually be quite interesting. And then we have a 2-cost Gogo Tamago, Mechanical Engineer. Basically, she is supporting that Floodborn Sapphire Emerald kind of deck, so makes sense. Yeah, because I think the other Go-Go Tamago is a Sapphire Emerald card. So yeah, fits perfectly within that. All right, we have Stitch Experiment 626. So this is the normal, this is the normal version of the card, of the enchanted card we were looking at in the first video. So this is that Stitch there. I still don't know if the ability is worth playing, but again, I do think it's interesting that you can have a card that is always prevalent even in your discard. I would like to see it played around with more in future sets. This is one that I think is going to be pretty good. So Arthur, Determined Squire. The ability is basically to skip your draw step, right? And I think at a first glance that could seem kind of bad, but when you're playing this within Sapphire Steel, Sapphire has quite a lot of ways to draw cards. So to have something that quests for 3 on turn 4 with 6/6, I think that's really good. And I really like the art on this one. I think it's really cool. So really cool card. Geppetto, Skilled Craftsman. Basically, you have some item support. You can play this in your Sapphire Ruby deck, and you're discarding items and gaining lore. And when you have items that already gain you something from discarding cards, you're adding more fuel to the fire with this card here, and I feel like those decks are going to be really good moving forward. Down in New Orleans, so we got a song that costs 6. Uninkable, but you get to look at the top 3 cards of your deck and play any kind of character, item, or location that costs 6 or less for free. I really love the art on this one. I know Lace would like it as well if she saw this card. She hasn't seen most of the new cards here coming out in Reign of Jafar, but this is a really cool card, so I like it a lot. Atlantean Crystal, an item where you exert it and pay 2 ink, and then any chosen character of yours gains resist to and support. This is like something that I would want to fiddle with within the puppy deck. I don't know if it has a spot, but it's a pretty interesting card. And here's Bobby, Purple Pigeon with Bodyguard. Nothing too crazy. Again, I think it's really well done art. It's pretty funny. I just do not know where these pigeons come from. And we have Vinny, Green Pigeon. A way to gain lore if one of your other characters are banished. It actually does work well with the Bodyguard archetype. I mean, it's a steel card, so someone please tell me where these pigeons come from. Nathaniel Flint, Notorious Pirate. So pretty interesting. I mean, nothing too crazy in terms of stats, but you ping a damage onto a character, and on turn 2 you can have a 3/3 that quests for 2. So pretty interesting if you can work around this card, especially with the Emerald Steel Pirate kind of deck. And I know those decks tend to have ways to ping damage onto your opponent. So I think this one can actually be pretty good, and I do love the art on that one. He's looking mean. So I think that's cool. Namari's Single-Minded Rival. This one is also going to be really, I think, really good. It's pretty straightforward how strong this one could be. You just have to play around with this card within maybe a discard kind of deck, because this card gets 1 strength for each discard, or for each card in your discard. I like the art a lot. Really dynamic, really cool. It's going to be interesting to see what kind of decks are built around this card, so we'll see. Desperate Plan. Basically, you get 2 options. You can play this in multiple ways. If you personally have no cards in your hand, you get to draw until you have 3. So it's a good draw engine for 3 ink. And if you do have cards in your hand, let's say you have a pretty dead hand where you're not able to, let's say you ended up with a lot of high cost characters and you're not able to play a lot of your hand, again, a dead hand, you can get rid of cards with this one. You can go ahead and discard any number of cards, works well with that Namari we just talked about, and then you get to draw that many cards. So I think that's really awesome. This is a card that's good overall, but also good with that last Namari that we talked about. And then Beyond the Horizon, a sing together song. Choose any number of players, they discard their hand and draw 3 cards each. Could be pretty good. I just really like the art on this one, so I would like to see if this one could be used in a deck here. You could choose yourself if you really wanted to. So again, if you wanted to choose yourself because you have a dead hand, you can use this card. Works again well with the Namari card we talked about 2 cards ago, and you get to draw 3 cards. Or if you knew your opponent had a really good hand, go ahead and make them discard their hand as well. That was the last card. Hopefully this video didn't go on too long. We will be coming out with a video going over the enchanteds. If you haven't seen them already, they are, I think all of them were announced, I think. So we're gonna come out with a video. I mean, even though it's gonna be kind of old news at that point. I mean, Reign of Jafar isn't out yet. But we'll come out with a video. Hopefully we'll be able to discuss our thoughts on the enchanteds that are coming out. So look forward to that video there. But again, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Like it if you liked it. Subscribe to see more. And again, please let me know where those pigeons come from, because I do not know. I feel like it's probably some Disney movie, maybe recent, that I haven't seen. Thanks for watching, and hope you guys have a blessed day. Bye-bye.